Great news. Yesterday, no new coronavirus cases in the whole country. First time in 5 months. Today, just one new infection, New South Wales, and connected with a known cluster. So we are so close now. We have to be close now to really opening up this country. That said, we have to preserve our moat, our giant moat, the ocean, and keep our quarantine hotels, put international travellers in them, limit them, because they are now our biggest danger of importing this virus again. But we also have to be so on our guard against repeating the errors of the past. We've got to learn our lessons, and no one has more lessons to learn than Victoria. 819 people died in just that one state. That's 90% of all virus deaths in this country. You know, Victoria's always had this image of being a bit smoother, more efficient, less corrupt than other states, certainly more than New South Wales and Queensland. But boy, has Victoria had a shock. It couldn't run quarantine hotels properly. It couldn't do contact tracing properly, still can't. And now I'll play you a secret recording. Incredible. It's from an inquiry into yet another scandal, yet another, that helps to explain, perhaps, why Victoria is in fact exactly the state that you'd expect to fall apart in this virus crisis. This scandal involves alleged corruption in Victoria's train system. Last week, the fleet manager at Metro Trains, Peter Bollas, told the state's anti-corruption body that both he and the head of V-Line, James Pinder, who looked after Country Trains, had been on the take. Pinder denies this, by the way, but Bollas said that both got about $150,000 each in corrupt cash payments from a company that cleaned trains. I think you know where this is going. In March, the Victorian government paid this cleaning company an extra $1.3 million a month for extra COVID cleaning to keep travellers safe. Here is a secret recording of the two rail executives, both now sacked, allegedly discussing back in April how much they'd demand from the cleaner as their cut from the extra money he was getting for this COVID cleaning.
Yeah, and look, realistically, you shouldn't go in hard. Tell him 50 each. We're not greedy, but he needs to understand it.
No, but as long as I know what you want, that's the main thing.
Do you think that's reasonable?
Yeah.
Well, the Victorian government back then was so proud of this extra cleaning that it made a video to give Victorians confidence in catching a train during the pandemic. Clean trains, safe trains, except that one of those two train executives, Bollas, was secretly taped ringing the boss of the cleaning company to say, wait a minute, you're not cleaning the trains properly. And then being told by that boss, yeah, but you've got to cover up for us.
The state is paying me more now to do more work, which you're not doing. Yeah? Finished.
Hang on,
Finished. They didn't even spray the train.
I know, because they went there to satisfy. Probably the train got sprayed during the day. They were happy the train was properly.
They have to be sprayed. You're not listening. We're paying you to spray them.
I know.
You're not listening, George. You can come up with whatever excuse you want. The question that the bailiff will ask you, did you perform your part? And the answer is no.
I get the point, Peter, but you've got to cover up for us as well. Just say the trains, okay, that may not have been said.
Are you taking the piss out of me? I've got to cover up. What do you think I can do every day, George?
I know you do.
Well, counsel assisting this inquiry says the government got onto this issue, the cleaning was then done, you know, let's have all confidence, etc., but just add this to the picture. And remember, I'm only talking about what we know about. I mean, every day we seem to be learning more. The picture, quarantine hotels, you know, mismanaged. The government gave the biggest security contract for those hotels, $30 million within just 6 hours to Unified Security, a small New South Wales company that was not a preferred tenderer, but did boast that it was Indigenous owned, and that was a big plus for government officials, Indigenous owned. And another selling point was that it was already working in Victoria after getting a contract from Metro Trains last year. Now, by the way, let me stress, I'm not saying that this deal was also corrupt. I've seen Zero evidence of that. Just to be clear, zero evidence. Don't sue. My concern is actually whether Unified was up to the job. Most of Victoria's infections in the second wave came from one of the hotels the Unified Security was supposedly enforcing quarantine in. And then there was Victoria's shambolic contact tracing, at first using pen, paper and fax machines. And even now not having a widespread use of a brilliant new tracing system, the QR code system that's used in other states like New South Wales. It's where you download this QR app on your phone, you scan your code at the venue, and your contact details are passed on automatically to the government. Secure, and they're kept for just 4 weeks. Only the contact tracers can access it. Now, again, Victoria's Premier was asked about this last week. Why hadn't the Victorian government already rolled out this great new system? You won't believe what he said.
You've got a much greater faith in IT than me, it seems. I think that often old-fashioned ways are the best way.
Pen and paper are better. Now, add to all this the multicultural madness of Victoria, the trouble the government had of pushing out health messages when so many people speak poor English. Even translating the messages in 53 different languages wasn't enough. Put it all together, and can you really be surprised that Victoria is the state in Australia that really got smashed by this virus? This is the state that likes to think it's the most sophisticated. Now it's looking like the most shambolic and governed appallingly.